have wealth if you're in debt?
If you're just looking strictly with money.
What other kind of wealth is there? You be wealthy in love.
Said,
love ain't gonna pay the bills.
They say health is wealth.
Yeah, so you can be alive to make money.
Mm-hmm. It's just like a Monopoly. You can have your money or you can have property.
But that stuff is paid off in Monopoly. You pay that banker up front.
And okay, but then that's why you're using the money you get from those rental properties to pay it off.
But you don't ever go in debt in Monopoly to get property.
Cause like you buy a house and you getting paid from the house and you not paying the mortgage still in your name and it's getting paid by the renters.
But that's also a risk that you take.
You can take a risk with anything. We're taking a risk spending all our money on this debt. It might be a low risk, but it's still a risk.
What's the risk there? What's the risk in paying off debt?
I'm just saying, like, if we throwing all this money at it right now, we're just taking a risk because we're going to have a low savings and low everything.
We're not. We're not going to touch our savings.
But if we do, if we do throw our savings in it, we'll get out of debt faster. You said we get out of debt in 9 months instead of 12 months.
That's one option. We're not doing that, though.
No, it's still an option, though.
And it would be a risk. How do we even come back to that?
Because we're talking about risk. I mean, we're talking about, what are we talking about?
Exactly. You just saying that. You just saying
stuff. We're talking about good debt and bad debt. That's what we're talking about.
But what is using the savings to pay debt? Even then, how is that a risk? How is using the savings to pay debt a risk? What do you mean by risk?
I'm saying the risk could be anything. I don't know. My legs get chopped off and my insurance doesn't cover it. Now we don't have no savings for me to get my leg repaired, to get a bionic leg.
Us simply putting money on student loan debt is not a risk. There is no risk
I'm saying
putting money on student loan debt.
I'm saying the risk to us as a family, though. If I need a surgery or something that my insurance doesn't cover or something.
That's why we have our savings.
But if we spend it on debt,
we're not spending all of it though. If we're following the program, we're not spending all of our savings.
Okay, but what if we run out of savings? That's still a risk. That it's still a low risk, but it's still a risk.
But now we also so let's say we had enough in the savings to pay off all the student loan debt. So now anything else that we generate, we can pay towards the medical bills, as opposed to now having debt in the medical bills and having student loan debt.
But we still want to have student loan debt. It's not going to be all paid off if we use all our savings now.
But we're not. That's the point. You don't use all of your savings to pay off the student loan debt.
But it's still a risk. It's a low risk.
But we're not touching the savings though.
Yes.
So there is no risk there. We're not touching the savings.
There's still a low risk though.
Okay, so there's a low risk. I don't agree. But okay. Where is the low risk?
I just told you. If we
don't touch the savings, we're not touching the savings at all, period. We're not. That's not our plan. Where's the risk? Explain that to me.
We're going to have to pay the debt with the savings, and we got to live off the savings. And we'll run out of savings in probably 6-7 months.
So what does that have to do with paying off the debt then? How do those two correlate?
Because we can't pay it off then, because we don't have no money coming in.
So where is the risk though? We don't have any money.
There's a risk to us because we're going to run out of money. If there's a risk of you, there's a risk of running out of money. That's what I'm getting at.
Okay, there's always a risk running out of money, regardless if we did this program or not.
That's the point. That's the same thing with the houses.
That's not the same because
no, that's not the same.
Because if you buy the house, there is no guarantee that you're gonna be able to sell it for what it's worth. There's no guarantee that you're gonna have somebody move into the property to pay off that mortgage, to pay off that debt.
That's a higher risk. It's a higher risk then.
We're not talking about the same things.
We're talking about risk and about using money.
We're not talking about the same type of risk because there is no inherent risk in paying off debt. Me paying off debt, there's nothing risky about paying off debt.
I was talking about the process. There's risk in this method of paying, as there's risk in any method of paying debt or obtaining debt.
How is it risky as it pertains to what I'm saying?
I just told you.
Tell me again, because I didn't understand it.
I don't know how else to explain it.
Okay, just repeat what you said.
If we lose our source of income and we use up all our savings, then we can't pay your debt. And we risk going into more debt.
But that still doesn't relate to what I'm.
If you buy a house and you can't get nobody in there, then you risk increasing your debt.
But that's taking out more debt right now than you already have. I'm talking about the existing debt, the existing stuff that you have.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go into debt to pay off debt, is what I'm saying. We're not going into debt. We're not taking out another loan to pay off my student loans. That's where I think our disconnect is. Okay.
What?
You don't agree with what I'm saying.
I'm just saying we talking about different things. So
Like I said, yeah.
Okay, that's why I said okay.
Don't say it like that.
Like what?
Like, okay, whatever. I'm right. You're wrong.
I didn't say it like that.
That is how you said it. Or like, whatever.
I agree to disagree.
Exactly. See, we not agreeing, which is fine. We don't have to agree, but we're not talking about the same thing.
Okay, we're not talking about the same thing.
Don't repeat what I'm saying.
Okay, I won't.
So you better not say I won't repeat what you said. I will bomb on you on this camera.
Okay. What's the next topic?
Survival mindset versus thriving mindset. Do you think that you are in a survival mindset when it comes to money?
Survival mindset. Do you have definitions for these mindsets?
I'm kind of going off top of the dome. I just heard it like a couple of weeks ago, and then I disregarded it. Then I heard it again today. But so, like a survival mindset, I guess would be: Are you reverting back, subconsciously or consciously? Are you reverting back to a time when you were in survival mode financially? So when you couldn't pay your bills, or if you didn't know when your bills are going to be paid, or if you didn't know when your next meal was. So now you're maybe hoarding money, or you are investing because you're trying to prevent yourself, I guess, or prevent from going back to a period when you were in survival mode, versus now or maybe now, I don't know, versus being in a period where your bills are made and paid and you don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from or how you're going to pay your bills.
Well, based off those definitions, I never been in a survival mode, so I don't know what that feels like. So I guess I'm in a thriving mode.
So think about maybe college, for example. Was there ever a period or time when you were maybe more careful with your money, because if you weren't, then you wouldn't be able to pay bills?
Not really.
Okay, so now, so you say you haven't experienced that. So now, are you in a position where you spend money responsibly but freely, and do you feel as if money will come back to you freely and easily?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That thriving mindset.
From
yeah.
What?
Go ahead.
No, I cut you off.
I wasn't really gonna say nothing.
So yeah, that would be more of a thriving mindset. You're not going from, so you don't feel like you have to like work your fingers to the bone to prevent from going back to a time when you couldn't provide or when things weren't provided.
How about you?
No.
You don't feel that way either?
No. Wait, I don't feel what way?
Like you're in a survival mindset.
I don't know. Sometimes I kind of do. I don't know where it really came from. Because there's never been a time where I felt like I had to survive, or I was trying to survive and scraping and scratching to do this and do that. There's never been a period in my life where I felt that way. But I do feel like that's why I like hoard our savings. I don't ever want to be in that position. So I wanted to have a hefty savings before starting to invest because of the great risk that's involved.
Today is June 11th of 2020.
And we are $43,457.21 in debt.
Is that with my 1,000 in there?
We are $44,457.21 in debt. But that'll all be paid off in less than a year.
January 2021.
I was thinking more like May 2021. All right, so we're going to sign off by saying today's date, and then I'm going to sign off. You're going to sign off with today's date.
June 11th, 2020.
You're just going to say today is da-da-da-da, and I'm going to give our debt total.
All right.
Looking right at the camera.
June 11th.
Yeah, I just say you got to say today is. You don't be listening.
Why I gotta say today is?
Because that's our sign off. You have a better sign off, husband?
June 11th, 2020.
It has to be a complete sentence.
Why?
Because I'm going to pick up. You're going to do the subject, and I'm going to do the predicate.
Okay. I didn't know all that.
Do you have a better idea for a sign off?
I was just trying to be all cinematic and theatrical with it.
You can still do that. I just add today is.
All right.
It's not cinematic if you add those two words. Well, to hell with cinema.